Today is February 5th, 2011, and this is a reading with Troy Parkinson. So I put it on a timer here, so in about 20 minutes then when our session is complete, there will be a little bit of music that starts to play that comes out of this. So we've had a reading before. It's been over a year, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so in the process of how this works, what I'll do is I'll connect with who I see. In the 20 minutes that we're together, I'll connect with two people, and then there'll be an opportunity for you to ask for someone specific. And then if there's a question that you'd like to ask for guidance or clarity, you'll have that opportunity as well. So any questions about the process before we begin? All right. So if you're comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Go ahead and take a few deep breaths in and out. With each breath in, I invite you to imagine this healing light filling your body. And with each breath out, you release any stress, anxiety, or tension from your day. So it's in with the light, out with the stress. And as you find yourself centering here in this room, it's almost as though your soul's light or your spirit's light begins to shine bright, becoming like a beacon of light, so that those in spirit who wish to connect to you today have the opportunity to do so. I step forward in faith, knowing that we're building this bridge between two worlds. And I give great thanks to God and the universe for opening my eyes, my ears, and my senses, that I might be a clear channel for communication. So in the next few moments of silence, I just invite you to send out the thought or request for who you'd possibly like to hear from, as well as any inspiration or guidance that you're looking for in the moment. And when I become aware of the communication, I will begin. Alright, well, you can open your eyes now if you'd like, or keep them closed, but right off the bat, I do become aware of two individuals that are definitely going to come forward. The first individual, I believe, connects on the father's side of the family, and he's an older gentleman as I see him, but it feels paternal or father, more in that generation. So as he steps forward, it's sort of interesting because I feel as though, in some respects, there's a disconnect, or there's a not a close relationship, or not a tight connection. But well, let me rephrase that.
You're saying could be my father,
yes,
or my father's father?
I mean, someone on the father's side. So I don't know whether it's dad or grandfather, but let me describe him, and then we'll see where he connects for you. But as he comes forward, he acknowledges not being the type of person who would normally, like when he was alive, come to do a medium thing like this. And you would think it was woo-woo or out there or this sort of thing. And so there's that acknowledgement. As I see him, I don't get immediate hug from him. He would have not been the type of person to be a huggy person. And so he's much more reserved and closed off as I see him, as he communicates with me. He also acknowledges that he would think upstairs and all the crystals and all of that was a lot of mumbo jumbo, and that rocks, if you're going to have rocks, they should be outside. It doesn't make sense for him to have rocks inside and that sort of thing. So that skepticism that is there definitely comes forward. I feel as though there are complications on the inside physically for his health that I feel, and so it's like his system isn't working properly. So health-related wise is what I feel for him in that way. He also acknowledges the sense that he's still learning on the other side. I feel like there's this evolution for him, and there's this process for him, and that he knows that when he was alive, he wasn't maybe the warmest person. And it's interesting, my throat is even sort of clearing and clogging up with him, and so there's that respiratory element that I feel as well. I want to pause with him here a moment and ask, yes or no, does this person recognize me? Would this be dad or grandfather?
My dad.
Okay, so as your dad comes forward, it's interesting because he's actually got a message for both of you in the way that he communicates, except I feel like, did he know him? No. Okay. Which is unique because as your grandfather's coming forward, or as I communicate to him, it'll be an interesting message because it's kind of like a first-time meeting, or there's this experience in this way, although not that you haven't seen pictures or this sort of thing, but there's this acknowledgement for you of being like an onion and peeling back some of the layers, and you're still in the process of peeling back some layers, or trying to heal this process. And it's interesting that he's bringing this forward to you, because I feel like there's part of you who would be like, well, I don't need to hear about you telling me how to heal, or I don't want you to tell me how to heal. That's not what he's doing, but he's acknowledging a sense of healing that he's wanting to bring forward, and a release that he wants to bring forward. But in relation to you, I'm sorry, your first name again? Tristan, what I'm getting, or the message that he's sort of relaying across the way is that it's, you know Harry Potter? Mm-hmm. There's a Harry Potter feel to you. And not that you have the magic necessarily, or maybe you do, but there's a real fun energy with you, and that as spirit sees you, there's this acknowledgement of just allowing that light to shine. And that it's important for him to have his light shine because he's coming into his own and he's finding his own voice and his own thing as he goes through adolescence and as you go through your process. But have fun is the key. Don't make trouble, but have fun is the process. So as I feel your father's energy here, he wanted to be first to communicate that sense of healing, but also for you a sense of letting you know that you're going to continue to blossom and you're going to continue to open and you're still going to continue to grow yourself and on your sort of spiritual journey or in your process. And he's grateful for that because when you continue on your journey for healing and support, it clears things for them in spirit as well. And so the circle sort of complete and releases in that process. All right, so I leave you with his message and his light. Now I become aware of a young man that's coming forward to communicate, and as he comes forward, there's a feeling of excitement and of joy of being able to come forward to share. And so as I feel him, he's older than you, but still connects to you, and he's got a great smile and a great energy, and he's like, surprise, here I am, and there'd be this great amount of joy in being able to come communicate to the both of you in this way. And it's different this time for me as well. And he's first very fast and very excited. And it's different because you're here. And he says it's different that you're here because it didn't happen last time. So he's come forward before in communication, correct?
He was there. He didn't say anything.
Okay.
He was there.
Okay, because as he comes forward now here today, what he wants to share is, hi, I'm here, surprise, and that there was this excitement for the both of you to come here and to have this experience. And what's interesting is I'm seeing you much younger than you are now, or younger than you are now when he would have passed. How old are you?
He wasn't born.
Okay. So, yeah, there's this interesting thing about having this relationship or connection with him, but not even knowing him. Does that make sense? Like, there's this sense of knowing, but without knowing. Physically knowing. But for you, there's this delight in having this bridge all happen and all of this connection occur. And so, first of all, there's a big hug to you. A big embrace and a big love. And just a breath of fresh air for you and a sigh of relief so that you have the opportunity to know that the connection is still strong and that he's okay. And that he knows that it's still not what you wanted. I mean, not that it ever was what you wanted, but there's still that healing and that grief process, so it doesn't ever go away. And yet he knows and he's grateful that you still go on with your life, that you still take the steps. And sometimes the sorrow and sometimes the sadness is internal, behind closed doors, and not anybody sees it. But you keep talking, is what he says. You keep talking, you keep praying, you keep having conversations with him. And that's important because it helps you. Now it's interesting because as he looks at you, he says, you get to have more fun than he did. You get to do more than he did. And it's really important that you know how loved you are and how protected you are by him. And that you know that it's like you got this special angel in your corner that's him. And as he watches out for you. And it's strange to me in a good way, but as I look at you, I see him. I don't know if that makes sense.
They're brothers.
Yeah. But even